Hello, this is Michelle and welcome to another episode. We are going to be talking about one of my favorite things, which is meditating and why you are not good at it. So first of all, meditating is one of the most powerful tools when it comes to your self-discovery journey, your mindful journey, your personal development. There is a reason that everyone does it that is in a very highly successful place in their life. I can't imagine it not working for someone. But I'm going to give you the reasons why there are people who say it doesn't work for them. And these are my 5 reasons why I think meditation is not working for you. Number 1, this is by far the most common thing that I see. You have too many expectations. You have way too many expectations going in. You have too many expectations during it happening. Then you have even more expectations for the results of it afterwards, right? So you have some people who are coming in and they're like, I'm gonna meditate and I'm gonna feel so enlightened after, and everyone told me how amazing this is. Expectation, 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 expectation. It's gonna be really great. I'm just gonna sit here and be quiet. My brain is gonna cut off completely. I'm not gonna have any thoughts whatsoever. And then I'm gonna be done, have a calm brain, and be able to be present for the rest of my life.
No, that's not how it works.
What you need to do instead of having this crazy expectation is to actually, and I know it's very hard, have none. One of the common misconceptions is that your brain is just going to cut off. This is not what happens. What you need to do instead is to have intention and a goal instead of having expectations. So put your focus on having the goal. Your goal, especially for like a silent meditation or a non-guided meditation, and even the guided ones in general are saying pretty much the same thing. Sit there, focus on your breath. When a thought comes in, which it will, notice it, and then come back to the breath. Why do they always talk about the breath? Because the breath is constant and the breath is always in the present moment. By the time, even if you were live here with me while I was recording this, by the time the words leave my mouth and come to you, it is in the past. It's all in the past. So those thoughts that you're having are all in the past. That's why you're trying to bring yourself back to the present moment. There's no need for you to plan the rest of your day because that's in the future. We're trying to be back in the present moment. So instead, think of it as practicing being present. Why does this matter? Because one of the main results that you're going to get from it is being more present. You hear people say, I'm so much more present. And at first you're like, I don't get it. What does that even mean? But what happens is, as you keep bringing your focus back, this is you practicing refocusing, right, on the thing you have. One, your focus is going to get so much better, and you're also going to be able to be more present in your whole life. It'll be a lot easier for you to listen to your friend while they're talking. Promise, it is so much easier to listen to people once you start meditating, and it's so much easier to focus on your own thing. But when you're listening to people, you're not going to be thinking about other things that have nothing to do with that conversation or planning your day. You'll be able to be so much more present. And the funny thing is you'll notice that you're more present, but you'll also notice how many people around you are not always as present as you'd like them to be while you're talking to them. And you still are kind, you're still patient with it, but it is such an interesting feeling to start noticing those things happening around you. Another thing is to also release the expectations of the results. So of course, people have the expectations of the breath. Okay, practice being present, set your intention there, it'll get much better. And the reality is, just to clarify, when you meditate a ton, you just get better at sustaining that for a longer period of time. But there's always thoughts that are coming in, but you get a lot better at sustaining it, and you get significantly faster at bringing your attention back. So in the beginning, you might drift off for 2 minutes and come back. You might drift off to 10 seconds, come back. But once you start doing it very often, you'll stop drifting off so much, or I shouldn't say so much. You'll stop drifting off for such long periods. You'll start being able to catch it quick, catch it quick, catch it quick. So that's what happens, in case you were wondering what eventually happens. You're never turning your brain off. And I think that's a very big misconception. It's never fully silent. If it is, someone tell me, but from my point of view, it is never fully silent, but it gets a lot quieter. Another misconception when it comes to expectations are the results. I mean, when you have the results, you still get excited for the results. It's not unrealistic to not be excited for the results. The reason you're not getting those results is because you haven't even practiced being present yet. What do I mean by that? You can't observe what is happening yet because your expectation of the result is so different than the reality. It's kind of like when you talk about manifesting and they're like, it might look different than your brain has created, but it might be directly in front of you. For example, I had a friend who she was going through a tough time. And then recently I was like, oh, did you ever try meditating? I asked her like, oh, did you do it for just a day or two or twice? And she's like, no, I did it for like 2 months. Let's say she did it for 2 months. What were the results? It made me feel really relaxed, but kind of tired. I was like, okay. Yeah, that's all I got out of it, was that it made me feel relaxed and tired. And then I go, was that a very stressful point in your life? And she goes, yes. And I was like, so did you feel more relaxed during that time period that you were meditating than when you weren't? She's like, yes. And I was like, so it sounds like it worked. So sometimes we have such a different view of where the results should be showing up in our lives, and it might already be happening and we're just not acknowledging it. When you are able to release yourself from those results and start being just intentional and being in the present moment, you'll notice that the other things start to happen. And sometimes they happen in a way that you don't know they're happening yet. Your self-awareness isn't at the point for you to observe it yet. But when you do, you will absolutely know. Number 2, for why your meditations are not working, you're not doing it. You do it once and that's it. If I went and shot a basketball twice and I said basketball is the worst sport, I can never do it. Well, clearly, of course, meditating's not working for you if you don't do it. So what's the solution to this problem? Do it. The amount of people I have who just don't do it at all and tell me it doesn't work for them, I'm like, but have you tried? You're not doing it consistently. So beyond just doing it, you have to do it consistently. You can't do it twice in a month and expect to see huge results. Of course, maybe you feel relaxed in the moment, but you're not going to see those big results that you're expecting. I don't want to say too many possibilities because then people are going to take those and make them expectations, but you need to give yourself a chance to progress. You need to give yourself space to actually progress and get consistent in it. Make it a routine, make it a habit. And then once you make it a routine and habit, then you'll start to see some results because it will naturally happen. I promise it will happen. If you meditate, to be honest, you're probably getting a result if you meditate for 14 days straight. From my point of view, you will get results then. But the realistic part is most people are waiting till day 14 to be like, Michelle, it didn't work. So that's why I don't like to say too much, but you can get results quite quickly. The thing is to be consistent and be present. That's it. Everything else will just happen on its own. Consistency and being present. You can't do it once every now and then expect it to work. Make it a part of your routine. That's why people have it as their daily routine. And to be honest, it's going to feel really good once you do make it a part of your routine. If you do meditate for a month straight and you don't feel good, come let me know because I don't know. Or I want to hear why it didn't work. I can try to help you there with some coaching for that because yeah, you should see some results. You're focused too much on counting down. So here's the thing, you can't just sit there counting down the time. Like you have to sit there and be present, focus on your breath. If you feel restless, because I know that this is a thing, especially when you're first starting, you feel really restless, take some deeper breaths. And see it as a way of practicing self-discipline, because it is, especially if you have issues with sitting still and whatnot, especially when we live in such a fast-paced world, always moving, go. Great time to practice self-discipline of just sitting still. And it will get easier over time, I promise you. The first time I was doing 10-minute meditations, I was like, these suck. But then when I started doing longer 30 to 40-minute meditations, 10 minutes felt like it was barely enough time to get started. And that's the same with anything. When you go run, the first time you ever run a mile, you're like,
why would anyone want to do this? This is terrible.
But as you continue to practice, then you start running 3 miles and 1 mile is nothing for you. So you have to start somewhere. Start slow But don't focus on the time. Focus on your breath, because also focusing on the time is your thought coming through. So you need to catch the thoughts, let it go, and bring your focus back to your breath. Here is one of the #1 reasons why your meditations aren't working for you. This is actually for numerous things. This is also for your journaling. This is for a lot of things. Big game changer coming up. Ready? You are focused more on the reason why it's not working than why it could be working. So here's the thing. You're always trying to prove yourself right. If you decide that meditation doesn't work for you, it won't. It won't, because you won't let it. So you have to decide. You don't have to say, I'm a person who meditates, I'm a person who meditates, if that's not how you feel yet. But don't put your focus in, it's not working, it's not working, it's not working, because you know what, then it won't. It's the same with everything else. If you're saying, I won't get the job, I won't get the job, I won't get the job, maybe you look into it, but realistically, you probably didn't try. You probably didn't even try that hard if you didn't think you were gonna get it. So you have to reframe your thought process. Instead of thinking, it's not working for me, it's not working for me, say, okay, today I have this intention of sitting here and focusing on my breath for the next 10 minutes. Boom, done. Okay, today I have the intention of sitting here and focusing on my breath and listening to my breath for the next 10 minutes, even if my eyes are open. Done. Okay, next day I'm gonna close my eyes. Done. You need to focus more on things like the self-discipline part, the breath, of course, but focusing on why it's not working for you will never, ever make it fully work for you. Of course, you can know, like you listening to this video means that you do in some way want it to work for you. So having the knowledge of why it's not working is different than putting your focus on why it's not working. Where your focus goes, energy flows. If you continue to focus on why it's not working for you, it won't ever work for you. So make sure you're putting your focus into the things that you should be doing, which is why you're setting your intention and your goal of sitting there and focusing on your breath, sitting there and making sure you're not focusing on time, but you're allowing yourself to be sitting there knowing this is making you better, and just be. But if you focus on this isn't working, this isn't working, this isn't working, you'll be right. You'll be right every time. So know the reasons, don't focus on them, know them, correct them, and then allow yourself to do better. Let me know, how is meditating for you? What is the hardest part about meditating for you? Do you meditate daily? If you want to gain more clarity, peace, and strength and practice your meditation practice and make it consistent, I have a 21-day challenge that you can sign up for, where you can get a checklist, you'll get some journaling prompts, and you'll also get numerous things that will help you to gain some mental peace, strength, and clarity for the next 21 days. It is free. Just sign up down below and I will email it to you right away. Have a wonderful day. Make sure to hit that thumbs up if you like this video, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.